Motivate yourself to be disciplined in life. Introduction: the key to a disciplined life. Everyone wants to be successful, productive, and in control of their lives. Yet, many struggle with the ability to stay disciplined and committed to their goals. You might wake up with the intention of exercising, eating healthy, or working on an important project. But as the day unfolds, distractions and excuses creep in. Why is it so difficult to remain disciplined? The answer lies in understanding the relationship between motivation and discipline. Motivation is often seen as the driving force behind taking action. It is the excitement, the rush of energy, and the inspiration that push people to start something new. Motivation can come from different sources: a motivational speech, a success story, or even a strong desire to change. However, motivation is unpredictable. Some days, you feel highly motivated, ready to conquer the world. Other days, it is nowhere to be found, leaving you with a lack of direction. This inconsistency makes motivation unreliable. You cannot depend on it alone to reach your goals. This is where discipline becomes the real game changer. Unlike motivation, discipline is not based on emotions or fleeting moments of inspiration. It is a habit, a commitment to doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. Discipline is waking up early to work out, even when you are tired. It is choosing to read a book instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media. It is showing up for yourself every single day, even when motivation is absent. When you train yourself to be disciplined, you take control of your actions rather than waiting for motivation to strike. Many people misunderstand the importance of discipline. They believe that motivation must come first, that they need to feel inspired before taking action. This mindset often leads to procrastination and inconsistency. The truth is, discipline creates motivation. When you take action consistently, even when you don't feel like it, you start to see progress. That progress fuels motivation, and the cycle continues. This shift in mindset can completely transform the way you approach your goals. This book is designed to change your perspective on discipline and motivation. Instead of relying on temporary bursts of motivation, you will learn how to build lasting habits that will keep you disciplined in all aspects of life. You will discover practical strategies to stay committed to your goals, overcome laziness, and develop a strong sense of self-control. By the end of this journey, you will no longer see discipline as a burden, but as a powerful tool that will lead you to success and fulfillment. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of purpose, knowing that you have the strength and commitment to follow through on your goals. Think about how much you could accomplish if you stopped waiting for motivation and started relying on discipline instead. Whether you want to improve your health, achieve career success, or cultivate better relationships, discipline will be the foundation that supports all your efforts. Your journey to a disciplined life starts now. This book will guide you step by step, helping you build the habits and mindset necessary to stay on track. It won't always be easy, but it will be worth it. The moment you take full responsibility for your actions and commit to disciplined living, you'll unlock a new level of potential within yourself. Are you ready to begin? Chapter 1. Understanding the power of self-discipline. Self-discipline is the foundation of success. It is the ability to control your actions, emotions, and habits to achieve long-term goals, even when faced with obstacles or temptations. Many people mistakenly believe that discipline is restrictive or burdensome, but in reality, it is the key to personal freedom. When you develop self-discipline, you take charge of your life, making intentional choices that lead to progress and fulfillment rather than being swayed by distractions or fleeting emotions. At its core, self-discipline is a commitment to doing what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. It is what pushes an athlete to train every day, a student to study even when they would rather relax, or an entrepreneur to keep working despite failures. This ability to stay consistent, regardless of emotions or circumstances, separates those who achieve their goals from those who only dream about them. Understanding the science behind self-discipline can help us harness its power more effectively. Research in psychology and neuroscience shows that self-discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and self-control, plays a crucial role in maintaining discipline. When you repeatedly make disciplined choices, neural pathways in the brain strengthen, making it easier to stay consistent over time. However, just like a muscle, self-discipline can become fatigued if overused without rest. This phenomenon, known as decision fatigue, occurs when the brain is overwhelmed by too many choices, leading to impulsive or unproductive behaviors. This is why successful people create structured routines and habits that minimize unnecessary decisions. By automating certain aspects of daily life, such as waking up at the same time, planning meals, or setting work schedules, they conserve mental energy for more important tasks. When we look at highly successful individuals, a common pattern emerges. Self-discipline is at the heart of their achievements. Whether it is world-class athletes, best-selling authors, or influential leaders, their success is rarely the result of luck or pure talent alone. Instead, they build consistent habits that drive them forward. Take the example of Michael Jordan, who was known for his relentless work ethic. While many admired his talent, those close to him knew it was his discipline, his unwavering commitment to practice and improvement, that made him legendary. Similarly, best-selling authors do not wait for inspiration to strike before they start writing. They set a schedule and write every day, whether they feel motivated or not. Entrepreneurs do not succeed by working only when they feel like it. They push through challenges, remain focused, and keep taking action despite setbacks. These success stories prove that discipline is the real key to greatness. Talent and motivation may spark the journey, but only discipline ensures long-term success. One of the biggest misconceptions about self-discipline is that it requires constant motivation. Many people believe they need to feel inspired before they can take action, but this belief often leads to inconsistency. Motivation is temporary. It fluctuates based on mood, circumstances, and external influences. Some days, you wake up feeling energized and eager to tackle challenges. Other days, you feel sluggish and unmotivated. If you rely solely on motivation, you will struggle to stay consistent. The secret to building self-discipline is to break free from the motivation trap. Instead of waiting to feel inspired, commit to taking action regardless of your emotional state. This mindset shift transforms the way you approach goals. Rather than depending on motivation, you develop habits and routines that keep you on track. This is why disciplined individuals often follow structured morning routines, set deadlines, and create accountability systems. They do not allow emotions to dictate their actions. They take control and follow through on their commitments. Chapter 2. Identifying your why. Discipline is often seen as a rigid structure of rules and restrictions, but at its core, it is a deeply personal commitment to oneself. To develop discipline that lasts, you must first understand your why, the reason behind your actions, the fuel that drives your persistence, and the anchor that keeps you steady in moments of doubt. Without a clear and compelling reason, discipline feels like a burden, but with a strong why, it transforms into an empowering force. Imagine trying to wake up at 5 a.m. every day to exercise without a meaningful reason. You might succeed for a few days, but soon motivation will fade and discipline will feel like a chore. Now, contrast this with someone training for a marathon because they want to prove to themselves that they are capable of achieving something extraordinary. Their purpose fuels their discipline. Purpose is what turns obligations into commitments and challenges into opportunities. A sense of purpose provides a framework for discipline. It gives you direction, helping you filter out distractions and make decisions that align with your goals. Without purpose, discipline can feel empty and unsustainable, but when you connect it to something meaningful, it becomes a natural extension of your identity. People who sustain discipline in their lives don't rely on willpower alone. They are driven by a compelling reason that makes the effort worthwhile. To cultivate unshakable discipline, you must explore what truly motivates you. Motivation is often divided into two types, extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic motivation comes from external rewards, such as money, recognition, or praise. While it can be effective, it is often short-lived. Intrinsic motivation, on the other hand, arises from within. It is the joy of learning, the satisfaction of self-improvement, or the fulfillment of personal growth. Take a moment to reflect on what drives you. What are the things that excite you, the goals that give you a sense of purpose? Maybe you want to build a successful career improve your health, or cultivate meaningful relationships. Now go deeper. Why do these things matter to you? If your goal is financial success, is it because you want security, freedom, or the ability to support your loved ones? If you want to be healthier, is it because you wish to live longer, have more energy, or set an example for your children? Understanding your deepest motivations requires honest self-reflection. It involves stripping away surface-level desires and uncovering the core reasons behind your aspirations. Once you discover what truly matters to you, discipline will feel less like a struggle and more like a path to fulfillment. A personal vision statement is a powerful tool that clarifies your purpose and helps you stay committed to your discipline. It acts as a guiding light, reminding you of why you started and where you're headed. Unlike goals, which are specific targets, a vision statement is broader. It captures the essence of who you want to become and the life you want to create. To craft your vision statement, start by imagining your ideal future. If everything in your life aligned with your highest aspirations, what would that look like? Consider different aspects of your life, including your career, health, relationships, and personal growth. Write down your thoughts without overanalyzing them. Next, refine your vision by identifying key themes. Do you see a common thread in your desires? Maybe you value creativity, independence, or making a positive impact on others. Once you have a clearer picture, transform your ideas into a concise statement. For example, I am committed to living a life of purpose, continuously growing, and making a meaningful impact on those around me. I strive for health, happiness, and financial independence, ensuring that I create a stable and fulfilling future for myself and my loved ones. Your vision statement should resonate deeply with you. It should ignite passion and inspire action. Whenever you feel unmotivated or uncertain, revisit your statement. It will remind you why discipline is worth it. Discipline becomes effortless when your goals align with your core values. If you ever struggle to stay consistent with a habit or task, ask yourself, does this truly reflect what I value? Often, people set goals based on societal expectations or external pressures rather than personal convictions. This leads to frustration and resistance. To ensure alignment, identify your core values, the principles that guide your life. Some people value integrity, while others prioritize creativity, adventure, or family. Knowing your values helps you set goals that genuinely matter to you. For instance, if you deeply value freedom, a rigid 9 to 5 job might feel suffocating, while an entrepreneurial path may be more fulfilling. Once you have clarity on your values, evaluate your current goals. Do they reflect what truly matters to you? If not, adjust them so they align with your authentic self. When your goals are in harmony with your values, discipline becomes a natural byproduct rather than a forced effort. Chapter 3. The Psychology of Motivation. Motivation is one of the most misunderstood aspects of personal development. Many people believe that motivation is the key to success, that if they could just find the right spark of inspiration, they would finally take action. However, motivation is far more complex than a fleeting feeling. It is deeply rooted in psychology, influenced by our habits, brain chemistry, and mindset. To truly understand how motivation works, we must explore what drives us, how our habits shape our willpower, and why instant rewards play a critical role in keeping us on track. At its core, motivation can be divided into two types, intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation comes within. It is a drive to do something because it is personally meaningful or enjoyable. When you engage in an activity simply because you love it, that is intrinsic motivation at work. A musician playing an instrument for the sheer joy of music, or a writer who crafts stories because they feel a deep sense of fulfillment is an example of this internal drive. Intrinsic motivation is powerful because it does not rely on external rewards or validation. It is self-sustaining and often leads to long-term commitment and success. On the other hand, extrinsic motivation is driven by external rewards or consequences. This includes things like working for a paycheck, studying to earn good grades, or exercising to receive praise from others. While extrinsic motivation can be effective in pushing people to take action, it tends to be less sustainable in the long run when the external reward disappears. So does the motivation. This is why many people struggle to maintain healthy habits or stay committed to their goals once the initial excitement wears off. The key to lasting success is learning how to balance both types of motivation, using external rewards as short-term boosters while cultivating an internal drive to keep going even when no one is watching. One of the biggest factors influencing motivation is habit formation. Willpower alone is not enough to stay consistent. Habits play a critical role in determining whether we stick to our goals or fall off track. When something becomes a habit, it no longer requires conscious effort or motivation. Think about brushing your teeth every morning. You do not need motivation to do it. It is simply part of your routine. The same principle applies to any discipline-based activity. When you build strong habits, you reduce the need for constant motivation, making it easier to stay on course. Developing habits that support motivation starts with small, consistent actions. The key is to make new behaviors automatic, so they require minimal effort. Instead of relying on sheer willpower to work out every morning, set a specific time and place for your exercise routine. When your brain associates a particular action with a specific trigger, it becomes second nature. Over time, these small routines compound, making self-discipline feel effortless. Instead of asking, "Do I feel motivated today?" you simply follow your established habits, reducing the internal struggle that often comes with decision-making. The science behind motivation is closely linked to the brain's reward system, particularly the role of dopamine. Dopamine is often referred to as a feel-good neurotransmitter, but its function goes beyond creating pleasure. It is a driving force behind motivation, pushing us to seek rewards and take action. Every time you accomplish something, even something small, your brain releases dopamine, reinforcing behavior and encouraging you to repeat it. Understanding this process is crucial because it explains why small wins matter. If you set a goal that feels too overwhelming, your brain may resist taking action because the reward seems too far away. This is why breaking big goals into smaller, manageable tasks is so effective. Each time you complete a step, your brain gets a dopamine boost, keeping you motivated to move forward. For example, if you want to write a book, setting a goal to write 1 page per day feels more achievable than trying to complete an entire chapter in one sitting. Each small victory triggers a sense of accomplishment, making it easier to stay on track. The need for instant wins is often underestimated. Many people struggle with motivation because they set goals that are too big or distant, making progress feel slow and frustrating. By creating immediate rewards along the way, you keep your brain engaged and eager to continue. This is why gamification techniques, such as tracking progress, setting milestones, or rewarding yourself for completing tasks, are so effective in maintaining motivation. The more frequently you experience success, the more motivated you become. Despite understanding motivation, many people still struggle with resistance to change. This resistance often comes from fear. Fear of failure, fear of discomfort, or even fear of success. The brain is wired to seek comfort and familiarity, which is why stepping outside your comfort zone can feel so challenging. When faced with change, the mind often creates excuses, convincing you that now is not the right time or that you are not capable of achieving your goals. This internal resistance is one of the biggest barriers to self-discipline and personal growth. Overcoming resistance starts with recognizing for what it is, a natural response to uncertainty. Instead of trying to eliminate fear entirely, the key is to take action despite it. One of the most effective ways to do this is through exposure. The more you expose yourself to a new behavior or challenge, the less intimidating it becomes. For instance, if public speaking makes you anxious, starting with small presentations or speaking in front of a trusted group can gradually build your confidence. The more you practice facing discomfort, the more your brain adapts, making the once difficult task feel normal over time. Another common reason for resistance is perfectionism. Many people believe they need to have everything figured out before taking action, leading to procrastination and self-doubt. The truth is, waiting for the perfect moment often results in never starting at all. Instead of aiming for perfection, focus on progress. Taking imperfect action is always better than doing nothing. Each step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Understanding the psychology of motivation allows you to take control of your actions rather than waiting for inspiration to strike. By balancing intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, Building strong habits, leveraging the brain's reward system, and overcoming resistance, you create a sustainable path to success. Motivation is not something you find. It is something you cultivate. When you learn how to harness it effectively, self-discipline becomes second nature, and progress becomes inevitable. Chapter 4. Building a strong mindset for discipline. Discipline is not just about habits or routines. It begins in the mind. The way you think about challenges, setbacks, and success determines how disciplined you can become. A strong mindset is like a foundation. It supports your actions, helps you stay consistent, and prevents you from giving up when things get tough. Without mental strength, even the best plans fall apart. The good news is that you can build a powerful mindset that fuels your discipline and helps you stay committed to your goals. One of the most important aspects of mental strength is understanding the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is when someone believes that their abilities, intelligence, and talents are set in stone. They think that they are either naturally good at something or they are not, and they avoid challenges because they fear failure. On the other hand, a growth mindset is a belief that abilities can be developed through effort and learning. People with a growth mindset embrace challenges because they see them as opportunities to improve. Think about someone who wants to get in shape but believes they are just not athletic. This is a fixed mindset, and it can prevent them from even trying. If they shift to a growth mindset, they will start believing that fitness is a skill that can be developed with practice and patience. They will see progress, even if it's slow, and keep pushing forward. This shift in thinking is what makes discipline sustainable. When you believe you can improve, you stay motivated to keep working at it. Strengthening your mental toughness is another key part of building discipline. Life is full of obstacles, and if you don't train your mind to handle difficulties, you'll give up too easily. Mental toughness is not about ignoring emotions or pretending everything is fine when it's not. Instead, it's about facing challenges with resilience and not letting temporary discomfort stop you. The strongest people are not those who never struggle, but those who push through their struggles and keep going. One way to strengthen mental toughness is by embracing discomfort. Most people avoid difficult situations because they want to stay comfortable. However, growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. If you want to become more disciplined, start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Push yourself a little more each day. If you feel like quitting when something gets hard, remind yourself that every challenge is an opportunity to get stronger. Another important aspect of mental toughness is self-discipline. Many people wait to feel motivated before taking action, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. What separates disciplined individuals from the rest is that they act even when they don't feel like it. If you only work towards your goals when you feel inspired, you'll make slow progress. But if you develop a habit of pushing forward even on tough days, you'll build unstoppable momentum. Developing emotional control is also essential for discipline. Emotions are powerful, and they can either help or hurt your progress. When you let emotions dictate your actions, it becomes easy to lose focus. For example, if you feel frustrated and overwhelmed, you might want to procrastinate instead of pushing forward. If you feel discouraged, you might start doubting yourself and give up too soon. Learning to manage your emotions will help you stay consistent, no matter what happens. The first step in emotional control is self-awareness. Pay attention to how your emotions affect your decisions. When you feel like quitting, ask yourself why. Is it because you're tired, frustrated, afraid of failing? Understanding your emotions allows you to respond instead of react. Instead of letting negative feelings control you, you can acknowledge them and then choose to keep going despite them. Another way to develop emotional control is by practicing mindfulness. When you are mindful, you stay present in the moment instead of getting lost in negative thoughts. This helps you make better decisions and stay focused. When you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath and remind yourself that emotions are temporary. Just because you feel discouraged now doesn't mean you won't succeed. Train yourself to move forward, no matter how you feel. One of the biggest challenges to discipline is overcoming self-doubt and negative thinking. Everyone experiences self-doubt at some point, but the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to it. If you let self-doubt control you, you'll always hold yourself back. But if you learn to silence that inner critic, You can push past fear and keep moving forward. Negative thoughts often come from fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of not being good enough. When you start something new or difficult, your mind will try to convince you that you can't do it. It will bring up past failures or compare you to others. Recognizing that these thoughts are just fears, not facts, can help you break free from them. One powerful way to overcome negative thinking is by changing your inner dialogue. Instead of saying, "I'm not good at this," say, "I'm still learning and I'm improving every day." Instead of thinking, "I'll never be disciplined," remind yourself, "I can build discipline by taking small steps every day." The way you talk to yourself matters. Your mind believes what you tell it. So feed it positive and empowering thoughts. Another way to combat self-doubt is by focusing on progress, not perfection. Many people get discouraged because they expect to be perfect from the start. When they make mistakes, they feel like failures and give up. But discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Even small progress is still progress. If you miss a workout, don't quit. Just get back on track the next day. If you struggle with a habit, don't see it as failure. See it as a learning experience. The key to overcoming self-doubt is believing that setbacks do not define you. They are just part of the journey. Building a strong mindset for discipline is a lifelong process, but it starts with making small changes in the way you think. When you shift to a growth mindset, develop mental toughness, control your emotions, and overcome negative thinking, discipline becomes easier. You stop seeing challenges as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities to grow. You stop waiting for motivation and start taking action no matter what. The strongest, most disciplined people in the world are not born that way. They train their minds to be strong. And if they can do it, so can you. Chapter 5. The Role of Habits in Self-Discipline. When it comes to self-discipline, habits play a far more significant role than motivation. Many people believe that motivation is the key to success, but in reality, it is unreliable. Motivation fluctuates. It is influenced by mood, environment, and circumstances, making it an inconsistent source of action. Habits, on the other hand, operate automatically once established, ensuring that discipline becomes a part of daily life rather than something that requires constant willpower. One of the biggest misconceptions about building habits is the idea that they take exactly 21 days to form. This belief, known as the 21-day rule, has been widely spread, but it is not entirely accurate. The origin of this idea comes from Dr. Maxwell Maltz, a plastic surgeon who noticed that his patients took about 3 weeks to adjust to changes in their appearance. However, scientific studies have shown that habit formation varies from person to person and depends on the complexity of the habit itself. On average, it takes anywhere from 18 to 254 days for a new behavior to become automatic. What matters most is consistency. The more frequently a habit is repeated, the stronger it becomes, gradually transforming discipline into an effortless process. The struggle to break bad habits and replace them with good ones is a common challenge. Bad habits are deeply ingrained because they often provide immediate gratification, even if they have negative long-term consequences. To successfully replace them, it is essential to identify the triggers that lead to these behaviors. Every habit follows a loop: cue, routine, and reward. Understanding this pattern allows individuals to make conscious changes. For example, if someone has a habit of snacking on unhealthy food when stressed, they need to recognize stress as a cue, replace the unhealthy snack with a healthier alternative, and ensure that the new routine is still rewarding. Over time, the brain adapts to the new habit, making it easier to maintain self-discipline. Micro-habits, small changes that require minimal effort, are a powerful way to build discipline. Large goals can feel overwhelming, leading to procrastination or failure. However, breaking them down into micro-habits creates manageable steps that lead to long-term success. Instead of committing to an hour of exercise daily, starting with 5-minute workouts can gradually build a sustainable habit. These small wins create momentum, reinforcing the behavior and making it easier to stay disciplined. The power of habits lies in their ability to operate automatically without requiring motivation or constant decision-making. By focusing on consistency, replacing bad habits with positive ones, and leveraging the effectiveness of micro-habits, Anyone can develop strong self-discipline. While motivation may come and go, habits remain, ensuring that progress continues even on days when inspiration is lacking. True discipline is not about forcing oneself to act, but about creating a system where action happens naturally, leading to lasting personal growth and success. Chapter 6: Mastering Self-Control and Willpower. Mastering self-control and willpower is a key element in leading a disciplined life. Without these qualities, even the most well-laid plans can fall apart. Self-control is what keeps you on track when temptations arise, and willpower is the force that pushes you forward when motivation wanes. Understanding how these two aspects work and learning how to strengthen them will create a solid foundation for a more structured and fulfilling life. Think of willpower as a muscle. Just like your physical muscles, it can be strengthened with consistent training and weakened through overuse or neglect. Studies have shown that willpower is not an unlimited resource. When you exert self-control in one area of your life, it can temporarily reduce your ability to maintain it in another. This is why resisting a sugary treat in the morning might make it harder to say no to unnecessary online shopping in the evening. However, just as lifting weights builds strength over time, practicing self-discipline regularly can improve your ability to make better choices in the long run. One of the most effective ways to enhance self-control is by gradually increasing the challenges you take on. Start small and build up your resilience. If you struggle with waking up early, begin by setting your alarm just 10 minutes earlier than usual rather than making a drastic change. Over time, this small adjustment will feel natural, and you can continue to push yourself further. Similarly, if you want to limit distractions while working, try resisting the urge to check your phone for just 5 extra minutes before giving in. These small victories accumulate and make it easier to exercise control in more demanding situations. Another powerful strategy to strengthen self-control is to set clear boundaries and remove temptations from your environment. If you want to eat healthier, keeping junk food out of your home makes it much easier to make better dietary choices. If you want to reduce social media usage, turning off notifications or placing your phone in another room while working can prevent unnecessary distractions. When temptations are less accessible, you won't need to rely solely on willpower to resist them. Delayed gratification is another crucial aspect of self-discipline. The ability to wait for a greater reward rather than giving in to immediate desires is what differentiates successful people from those who struggle with consistency. This concept is best illustrated by the famous marshmallow test, where children were given a choice between eating one marshmallow immediately or waiting a few minutes to receive 2. The children who could wait demonstrated better life outcomes in areas such as academic success, career growth, and emotional stability. This experiment highlights that delaying gratification leads to long-term benefits. Practicing the skill in daily life, whether it's saving money instead of spending impulsively, prioritizing studying over watching TV, or exercising instead of sleeping in, reinforces discipline and strengthens willpower over time. However, exerting too much self-control without rest can lead to what is known as decision fatigue. This occurs when the brain becomes exhausted from making too many choices throughout the day, reducing the ability to make sound decisions later on. This is why some of the most successful people simplify their daily routines. Figures like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg adopted a minimalist approach to dressing, wearing the same outfit every day to eliminate unnecessary decisions. When your mind isn't overloaded with trivial choices, you can direct more energy toward meaningful tasks. To avoid decision fatigue, establish routines that reduce the number of choices you need to make each day. Meal prepping in advance, following a structured daily schedule, and automating repetitive tasks can help conserve mental energy for more significant decisions. Additionally, taking breaks and practicing self-care plays an important role in maintaining strong willpower. Just as a muscle needs time to recover after workout, your mind needs rest to function optimally. Engaging in activities like meditation, deep breathing, or even short walks can help recharge your mental energy. Getting enough sleep is also essential, as exhaustion diminishes self-control and increases the likelihood of making impulsive choices. Surrounding yourself with supportive people can also make a significant difference in your ability to stay disciplined. When you have friends, mentors, or family members who encourage you to make good choices, you are more likely to follow through with your goals. Having an accountability partner can be particularly helpful in moments of weakness. If you commit to a morning workout with a friend, the likelihood of skipping it decreases because someone else is counting on you. Another way to build stronger willpower is by visualizing success and reminding yourself of your long-term goals. When faced with a difficult decision, take a moment to think about the future consequences of your actions. Imagine how you will feel after making a choice that aligns with your goals versus one that provides only short-term pleasure. Keeping a journal where you write about your progress, setbacks, and reflections can help reinforce positive habits and keep you motivated. Self-control and willpower are not qualities that some people are born with while others lack. They are skills that can be developed with practice and patience. By understanding how willpower functions like a muscle, implementing strategies to strengthen self-control, embracing delayed gratification, and managing decision fatigue, you can cultivate a disciplined mindset that helps you achieve your aspirations. The more you exercise these skills, the easier it becomes to stay focused and committed, leading to a more structured and fulfilling life. Chapter 7. Beating Procrastination Once and for All. Procrastination is one of the greatest obstacles to self-discipline, yet nearly everyone struggles with it at some point. It often disguises itself as harmless delays, convincing people that they will start later when they feel more ready or motivated. However, waiting for the perfect moment is a trap, because that moment rarely arrives. The key to overcoming procrastination is not just about finding motivation, but understanding why it happens and taking small, actionable steps to counter it. The root cause of procrastination is deeper than simple laziness. Many people assume that putting off tasks means they lack discipline. But in reality, procrastination is often tied to emotions, fears, and self-doubt. Some people avoid tasks because they seem too difficult or overwhelming. Others hesitate because they fear failure or feel uncertain about how to begin. In many cases, the brain chooses short-term comfort over long-term benefits, leading to distractions and avoidance. The first step in breaking free from procrastination is recognizing that it is not about time management, but about managing emotions and overcoming resistance. One of the most effective ways to defeat procrastination is by applying the 2-minute rule. This simple strategy removes the pressure of big tasks by focusing on just getting started. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately instead of postponing it. For larger tasks, commit to just 2 minutes of effort. The logic behind this technique is that the hardest part of any task is beginning. Once a person starts, they often continue beyond those first 2 minutes. The brain shifts from resistance to engagement, making it easier to sustain momentum. This technique works well because it eliminates the excuse of not having enough time or motivation. By committing to a tiny action, people trick themselves into overcoming inertia, and before they realize it, they have made significant progress. Time blocking is another powerful tool for improving productivity and maintaining discipline. Instead of relying on vague plans to complete tasks whenever there is free time, time blocking involves scheduling specific periods to focus on particular activities. This method turns intentions into commitments, reducing the likelihood of procrastination. When tasks are assigned a dedicated time slot, they become part of a structured routine rather than optional choices. The key to making time blocking work is treating those scheduled blocks as unbreakable appointments. Eliminating distractions during those periods and staying committed ensures that important tasks get completed efficiently. Over time, this approach builds a habit of consistency, making discipline feel effortless. Turning action into a habit is the final step in permanently overcoming procrastination. Motivation may provide a temporary push, but habits create lasting change. The more consistently a person acts, the easier it becomes to maintain momentum. Small daily efforts add up, reinforcing discipline and reducing reliance on fleeting bursts of inspiration. Once a habit is formed, the need to consciously force oneself to take action disappears. The key is to make tasks part of a daily rhythm, so that taking action feels natural rather than forced. When self-discipline is built through habits, productivity becomes second nature, and procrastination no longer holds power. Overcoming procrastination is not about becoming a different person overnight. It is about understanding what causes delays, taking small but meaningful steps, and creating systems that support consistent action. The battle is not against time, but against hesitation and self-doubt. By using practical strategies like the 2-minute rule, time blocking, and habit formation, anyone can break free from procrastination and build the self-discipline needed for long-term success. The secret is to start, no matter how small the step, and let momentum take over from there. Chapter 8. Overcoming laziness and lack of energy. Laziness is often mistaken for a lack of willpower, but in reality, it is usually a deeper issue linked to energy levels, motivation, and mindset. When you feel sluggish and unmotivated, it is not because you are inherently lazy, but because your body and mind are not operating at their full potential. Understanding the science behind low energy and discipline can help you break free from this cycle and regain control over your life. The science behind low energy and discipline. Energy is the fuel that drives motivation and discipline. When your energy levels are low, even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. There are several reasons why this happens. One of the biggest factors is your body's biological rhythm, also known as a circadian rhythm, which regulates your sleep-wake cycle, energy fluctuations, and overall alertness. If this rhythm is disrupted, you may experience chronic fatigue and reduced motivation. Another key factor is your brain chemistry. Neurotransmitters like dopamine play a crucial role in motivation. Dopamine is often referred to as a feel-good chemical because it helps reinforce positive behavior. If your brain has low dopamine levels, tasks that require effort will feel far less rewarding, making procrastination and laziness more likely. Additionally, chronic stress depletes mental and physical energy. When your body is constantly in a state of stress, it produces high levels of cortisol, a hormone that, when excessive, leads to fatigue, brain fog, and decreased motivation. Poor diet, lack of physical activity, and inadequate sleep further contribute to this vicious cycle, making it difficult to find the energy to be disciplined. How to use exercise to boost motivation. One of the most effective ways to overcome laziness is through movement. Regular exercise has been proven to enhance energy levels, increase dopamine production, and improve overall mental clarity. It may seem counterintuitive to move more when you feel tired, but exercise actually generates more energy rather than depleting it. When you engage in physical activity, your body releases endorphins, natural mood boosters that help you feel more motivated and less stressed. Exercise also increases blood flow to the brain, improving focus and cognitive function. It enhances your body's ability to regulate energy levels, making it easier to maintain motivation throughout the day. If you struggle with getting started, remember that movement does not have to be intense. A short walk, stretching, or light yoga can be enough to kickstart your energy levels. The key is to make exercise a habit. The more you move, the more your body adapts, leading to increased stamina and discipline in other areas of life. Nutrition hacks for a high-performance mindset. What you eat has a direct impact on your energy levels and mental clarity. Food is not just fuel. It is information for your body. When you consume processed foods, excessive sugar, and unhealthy fats, your energy spikes and crashes, leaving you feeling exhausted and unmotivated. On the other hand, a well-balanced diet can help sustain steady energy levels throughout the day. Protein-rich foods like eggs, lean meats, and legumes provide the necessary building blocks for neurotransmitters that regulate motivation and discipline. Healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, and olive oil support brain function and improve focus. Complex carbohydrates from whole grains, fruits, and vegetables ensure a steady release of energy without sudden crashes. Hydration is another critical factor. Dehydration can lead to fatigue, headaches, and difficulty concentrating. Drinking enough water throughout the day can significantly improve mental and physical performance. Additionally, consuming foods rich in vitamins and minerals, such as leafy greens, berries, and seeds, helps combat stress and enhances overall vitality. Caffeine, when used wisely, can provide a short-term energy boost, but relying on it excessively can lead to energy crashes and dependency. Instead, opt for natural energy boosters like green tea, which provides a more sustained release of energy without the jitters associated with coffee. The power of rest and recovery. Many people overlook the importance of rest when it comes to discipline and motivation. In reality, rest is not a sign of weakness, but a crucial part of maintaining high energy levels. When you are constantly pushing yourself without adequate recovery, your body and mind start to resist, leading to burnout and a lack of motivation. Quality sleep is one of the most powerful tools for overcoming laziness. During sleep, your brain processes information, repairs cells, and restores energy levels. Poor sleep disrupts hormone balance, reducing your ability to focus, make decisions, and stay motivated. Establishing a bedtime routine, avoiding screens before bed, and creating a relaxing sleep environment can improve the quality of your rest. Beyond sleep, taking breaks throughout the day is essential. The human brain is not designed to work nonstop for hours without pause. Implementing short breaks, practicing mindfulness, or engaging in activities that help you relax can recharge your energy levels and enhance productivity. Learning to listen to your body is key. Some days, you may need more rest than others, and that is perfectly normal. The goal is to strike a balance between effort and recovery. When you prioritize rest, your mind becomes sharper, your body more energized, and your ability to stay disciplined increases naturally. Chapter 9. Setting Goals that Inspire Action. Setting goals is one of the most powerful ways to give direction to your life. However, many people struggle with following through on their goals because they set vague, unrealistic, or uninspiring ones. The key to achieving any goal is not just about wanting it badly enough, but creating a structured plan that keeps you motivated and disciplined throughout the process. Goals that inspire action are the ones that align with your values, provide clear direction, and have a built-in system of accountability to keep you on track. One of the most effective ways to set meaningful and actionable goals is through the SMART method. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. A goal that lacks clarity is difficult to accomplish because it does not provide a clear target. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be healthier," a SMART goal would be, "I will exercise for 30 minutes, 5 times a week for the next 3 months." This goal is specific in terms of action, measurable by tracking exercise sessions, achievable within a realistic time frame, relevant to health improvement, and time-bound with a clear deadline. When goals are structured this way, they become more actionable, reducing the chances of procrastination and self-doubt. While setting a big goal is inspiring, it can also feel overwhelming if not broken down into smaller, manageable steps. Many people fail to achieve their goals because they see the entire journey at once and become discouraged by how far they have to go. The key to success is breaking big goals into small wins. For instance, if your goal is to write a book, instead of focusing on writing 50,000 words, start with a commitment to write 500 words per day. By celebrating small milestones along the way, you maintain motivation and reinforce a sense of accomplishment, making it easier to stay on track. Staying focused on long-term goals requires a combination of clarity, consistency, and adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will arise that might make you question your commitment to your goals. The most successful people understand that persistence is more important than perfection. When distractions or setbacks occur, instead of seeing them as failures, view them as opportunities to learn and adjust your approach. Keeping a vision board, journaling your progress, or regularly reviewing your goals can serve as reminders of why you started in the first place. The more you reinforce your goals in your daily life, the more likely you are to stay committed to them over time. Accountability plays a crucial role in goal achievement. It is much easier to stay on track when you have someone to answer to or a system that keeps you responsible. This could be a mentor, a coach, a friend, or even a social commitment where you publicly share your goals. When you involve others in your goal-setting journey, you add an extra layer of responsibility, making it harder to give up. Additionally, tracking progress through apps, journals, or weekly check-ins can help you stay disciplined and motivated. Knowing that someone else is aware of your goals creates an external push to follow through, even on days when motivation is low. The journey of setting and achieving goals is not about perfection, but about consistent progress. By structuring goals in a way that makes them clear and actionable, breaking them down into smaller steps, staying adaptable, and creating systems of accountability, you set yourself up for long-term success. The most disciplined individuals are not those who rely on fleeting bursts of motivation, but those who develop the habit of consistently taking action, no matter how small. Each step forward builds momentum, and before you know it, you will have turned your aspirations into reality. The key is to start today, take one small step, and keep going no matter what challenges come your way. Chapter 10, The Art of Staying Consistent. Many people struggle with consistency, not because they lack ambition, but because they find it hard to stay committed in the long run. You may start with enthusiasm, but over time, distractions, self-doubt, and setbacks can derail your progress. However, consistency is not about perfection. It is about showing up even when motivation fades. If you learn how to stay consistent, you will not only develop discipline, but also build confidence in yourself and your abilities. Mastering this art is one of the most powerful things you can do to achieve long-term success. How to stick to your commitments. When you make a commitment, it is easy to feel excited in the beginning. But as time passes, that initial excitement wears off, and suddenly, sticking to your goal feels like a burden. The key to staying committed is to make your goal clear and manageable. If you make commitments that are too overwhelming, you are more likely to give up. Start by being honest with yourself about what you can handle and set realistic expectations. A strong why behind your commitment makes all the difference. If your reason for pursuing a goal is weak or unclear, your motivation will fade quickly. Ask yourself why this commitment matters to you. When you connect your goal to a deeper purpose, whether it is improving your health, advancing in your career, or becoming more self-disciplined, it becomes easier to push through difficult moments. Another way to strengthen your commitment is by reducing friction. If something feels too complicated, you will naturally resist it. For example, if you want to exercise every morning, but your workout clothes are hidden deep in your closet, you're less likely to follow through. Simplify your environment and remove any obstacles that make it difficult to stay on track. Accountability can also be a game changer. When you share your commitment with someone else, whether it's a friend, mentor, or community, you are more likely to follow through. External accountability creates a sense of responsibility, making it harder to give up when things get tough. Using habit tracking for motivation. One of the best ways to stay consistent is by tracking your progress. When you visually see your efforts, it reinforces a habit and keeps you motivated. Habit tracking is a simple but effective tool that helps you stay aware of your daily actions and encourages you to build streaks of consistency. A habit tracker can be as simple as marking an X on a calendar every time you complete your task. Over time, your brain starts to recognize the pattern, and you develop a psychological desire not to break the chain. The longer your streak, the more motivated you will feel to keep going. Habit tracking also helps you measure progress in a way that feels rewarding. Often, people quit because they do not see immediate results. But when you track your habits, you can appreciate small wins that build over time. Even if your progress feels slow, the act of seeing your consistency can boost your confidence and keep you moving forward. If you ever miss a day, do not let it turn into a downward spiral. One missed day will not ruin your progress, but letting that one day turn into a week or a month can break the habit entirely. A simple rule to follow is never skip twice. If you miss a day, make sure you get back on track the next day to maintain your momentum. The power of positive reinforcement. Many people think discipline is about being harsh on yourself, but in reality, positive reinforcement is a far more effective strategy. When you reward yourself for consistent effort, you train your brain to associate discipline with pleasure rather than punishment. This shift in mindset makes it easier to stay consistent over the long run. Rewards do not have to be big or materialistic. Sometimes, the best reward is simply acknowledging your effort. If you successfully complete a week of staying disciplined, take a moment to appreciate your hard work. Recognizing your progress boosts your self-esteem and makes you more eager to continue. Another form of positive reinforcement is self-encouragement. Pay attention to the way you talk to yourself. Instead of saying, "I am bad at this," shift your mindset to, "I am improving every day." Words are powerful, and the way you speak to yourself shapes your reality. The more you encourage yourself, the more likely you are to push through challenges. It is also helpful to attach positive experiences to your habits. If your routine feels like a chore, you will dread it. But if you make it enjoyable, you will look forward to it. For example, If you want to develop a reading habit, create a cozy reading space and pair it with a warm cup of tea. If you want to exercise regularly, listen to your favorite music while working out. Making habits enjoyable removes resistance and makes consistency feel natural. How to build self-trust through discipline. Discipline is not just about achieving external success. It is about developing self-trust. When you consistently do what you say you will do, you build confidence in yourself. On the other hand, when you constantly break promises to yourself, you start to doubt your ability to follow through. One of the best ways to build self-trust is by keeping small promises. Start with commitments that are easy to maintain and gradually build up to bigger goals. For example, if you struggle with waking up early, do not aim to wake up 2 hours earlier right away. Instead, start by waking up just 10 minutes earlier. Once you succeed at smaller commitments, your confidence will grow, and you will trust yourself to take on bigger challenges. Self-discipline also requires learning to push through discomfort. There will always be moments when you do not feel like taking action. However, the more you practice doing things even when you do not feel like it, the stronger your self-trust becomes. Every time you overcome resistance, you prove to yourself that you are capable of staying consistent, even in difficult situations. Another key aspect of building self-trust is self-compassion. Many people think that being hard on themselves will make them more disciplined, but this approach often backfires. Instead of beating yourself up for mistakes, view setbacks as learning experiences. When you practice self-compassion, you create a mindset that encourages growth rather than fear failure. Chapter 11, Managing Distractions Like a Pro. Life today is full of distractions. Every minute, something is fighting for our attention. A notification, a buzzing phone, a sudden urge to check social media, or even a wandering thought that pulls us away from the task at hand. Staying focused has become a real challenge. And if we don't learn how to manage distractions, they can take control of our time and energy, leaving us feeling unproductive and frustrated. But the good news is that distractions are manageable. With the right approach, you can train yourself to regain focus and create an environment that supports deep, meaningful work. One of the first steps to mastering distractions is identifying what pulls you away from your goals. The tricky part is that distractions aren't always obvious. While social media, phone calls, and noisy environments are common culprits, internal distractions like self-doubt, daydreaming, or emotional stress can be just as powerful. Pay attention to your daily habits. What usually interrupts your workflow? Is it a notification that tempts you to scroll endlessly? Is it an inner voice that tells you to delay your work? Identifying your biggest distractions is the first step toward regaining control over your focus. Once you've identified what's stealing your attention, the next step is to take action. And this is where the 5-second rule comes in. Popularized by Mel Robbins, this simple but powerful technique can help you override distractions and rewire your brain for better discipline. The rule is straightforward. When you feel the urge to procrastinate or get distracted, count backward from 5 and immediately move into action. For example, if you're working on something important and feel the pull of social media, simply say 5-4-3-2-1 and get back to the task. This method interrupts your brain's habit of giving in to distractions and replaces it with a conscious decision to stay focused. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to control impulses and stick to your priorities. Creating a distraction-free environment is another game changer when it comes to improving focus. The space you work in has a direct impact on how well you concentrate. A cluttered desk, noisy surroundings, or easy access to distractions can make it difficult to stay engaged. Start by decluttering your workspace. Keep only the essentials and remove anything that tempts you to procrastinate. If noise is an issue, use noise-canceling headphones or play background music that enhances concentration. If your phone is your biggest distraction, place it in another room or use apps that block notifications during work sessions. The goal is to create a space that signals to your brain that it's time to focus, not to wander. Beyond external distractions, there's another level of focus that needs attention. Training your brain for deep work. Deep work is the ability to concentrate on a cognitively demanding task without distractions for an extended period. In today's world of constant interruptions, this skill is rare, but it can be developed with practice. One of the best ways to strengthen your ability to focus is through time blocking. Set aside specific periods in your day where you commit to working without any interruptions. Even if you start with just 30 minutes a day, this habit will improve your brain's endurance for deep concentration. Another effective technique for training your brain is mindfulness. The more aware you become of how your mind drifts, the easier it will be to bring your focus back. If you catch yourself getting distracted, don't be too hard on yourself. Instead, take a deep breath, acknowledge the distraction, and gently return to your task. Over time, this awareness will help you sharpen your attention and develop a stronger sense of control over your focus. Managing distractions isn't about eliminating them entirely. That's nearly impossible. It's about taking charge of your attention, strengthening your discipline, and creating an environment that supports your productivity. With practice, you'll find it easier to resist distractions, stay on track with your goals, and ultimately, build a life of discipline and achievement. The more you apply these strategies, the more control you will gain over your time, leading to a more focused and fulfilling life. Chapter 12. Learning from failure without losing motivation. Failure is an inevitable part of life, but the way we respond to it determines whether it becomes a roadblock or a stepping stone. Many people view failure as something to be ashamed of, a sign of weakness or incompetence. However, those who achieve true discipline understand that failure is not the end. It is a necessary experience that builds character, resilience, and a deeper understanding of personal growth. Every great success story is filled with setbacks, mistakes, and challenges. Yet what separates the disciplined from the defeated is the ability to learn from failure without losing motivation. When we examine the science behind discipline, failure plays a crucial role in shaping our habits and reinforcing persistence. The brain is wired to learn through trial and error. Each failure sends signals that help us adjust our approach, making us stronger and more adaptable. Imagine a child learning to walk. They fall countless times before mastering the skill, but they never stop trying because failure is part of the process. As adults, we often develop a fear of failure that prevents us from taking risks. But by embracing failure as a tool for learning, we can train our minds to remain disciplined and committed to our goals. One of the most powerful ways to transform failure into a tool for growth is by reframing it as feedback rather than a personal flaw. When we fail at something, it is not a reflection of our worth or potential. Instead, it is an opportunity to gather valuable information about what works and what doesn't. The most successful people in the world view failure as a teacher. Thomas Edison, after thousands of failed attempts to create the light bulb, famously stated that he had not failed. He had simply discovered thousands of ways that didn't work. This mindset shift can make all the difference between giving up and pushing forward. Reframing failure starts with changing the internal dialogue we have with ourselves. Instead of saying, "I fail because I'm not good enough," we can say, "This experience taught me what I need to do differently next time." By analyzing our failures objectively, we gain insights that help us improve. Did we lack preparation? Was our strategy ineffective? Did we let distractions get in the way? Answering these questions allows us to make adjustments rather than feeling defeated. Self-reflection is a powerful tool, and when used correctly, it turns failure into a stepping stone toward discipline and success. Another key element of learning from failure, without losing motivation, is cultivating resilience and grit. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, while grit is a determination to keep going despite difficulties. These two qualities go hand in hand with discipline because they create the mental toughness needed to stay on track. People who lack resilience often give up too soon, allowing failure to define them. But those who develop resilience see failure as just another obstacle to overcome. Building resilience starts with accepting that setbacks are normal. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how well we plan, there will be moments when things don't go our way. Instead of dwelling on disappointment, resilient individuals focus on solutions. They acknowledge their emotions, but do not let them dictate their actions. Practicing gratitude, maintaining a growth mindset, and seeking support from others can all contribute to a resilient mindset. The more we train ourselves to recover from setbacks, the easier it becomes to maintain discipline in the face of challenges. Grit, on the other hand, is about persistence. It is the ability to stay committed to a long-term goal despite failures, boredom, or frustration. Gritty individuals do not look for shortcuts. They embrace the journey, knowing that consistency is the key to success. Discipline thrives when combined with grit because it reinforces the idea that effort over time leads to results. Developing grit requires self-awareness and self-motivation. Setting small, manageable goals and celebrating progress, no matter how minor, helps maintain motivation even when the path forward seems uncertain. One of the most important steps in overcoming failure is creating a comeback plan. Failing without a strategy for moving forward can lead to discouragement, but having a clear plan in place ensures that setbacks do not derail progress. A comeback plan involves assessing what went wrong, identifying lessons learned, and setting new action steps. Instead of seeing failure as a reason to stop, view it as a checkpoint that redirects you toward success. Start by acknowledging the failure and accepting responsibility for any mistakes. This is not about self-blame, but about taking ownership of the situation. Next, analyze what could have been done differently and outline practical steps to improve. Perhaps a new approach is needed, or maybe external factors played a role in the setback. Whatever the case, having a plan restores confidence and motivation. It is also essential to surround yourself with a supportive environment. Failure can be isolating, but seeking guidance from mentors, friends, or like-minded individuals can provide perspective and encouragement. Learning from others who have faced similar challenges reminds us that failure is not unique to us. It is a universal experience that even the most accomplished individuals have encountered. Another crucial aspect of a comeback plan is maintaining a positive mindset. Self-doubt often creeps in after failure, leading to hesitation and fear of trying again. However, viewing failure as part of the learning process helps reframe our thoughts. Visualization techniques, affirmations, and mindfulness can all contribute to a stronger, more determined mindset. The more we train our minds to see failure as temporary, the more resilient we become in the pursuit of our goals. Chapter 13. Surrounding yourself with discipline-driven people. The people you surround yourself with have a tremendous influence on your thoughts, habits, and overall discipline. You might not always realize it, but the environment you place yourself in plays a major role in shaping your behavior. If you've ever spent time with highly motivated and disciplined individuals, you've probably felt a boost in your own productivity. On the other hand, being around people who lack focus and constantly procrastinate can drain your motivation and pull you off course. Discipline is not just an individual trait. It's often a product of the environment and the people you engage with daily. Human behavior is largely shaped by the surroundings we immerse ourselves in. If you place yourself in an environment that promotes structure, goal setting, and perseverance, you'll naturally absorb those qualities. This is why top athletes train with other high performers and why successful entrepreneurs often network with like-minded individuals. When you see others pushing their limits, staying committed to their goals, and making progress, it inspires you to do the same. If discipline feels like a struggle, take a closer look at your environment. Are the people around you reinforcing good habits or encouraging bad ones? Small changes in your surroundings, such as working in a productive space or associating with individuals who value discipline, can lead to significant improvements in your own self-discipline. One of the most effective ways to build discipline is to find mentors and role models who exemplify the qualities you wish to develop. A mentor is someone who has already walked the path you want to take and can guide you through challenges with wisdom and experience. Role models, on the other hand, may not be directly involved in your life, but their actions and mindset can still serve as a source of inspiration. Look for individuals who are committed, consistent, and disciplined in their personal and professional lives. These could be teachers, business leaders, athletes, or even authors whose books inspire you. Learning from their habits, strategies, and work ethic can help you cultivate the discipline necessary for your own success. One of the most powerful influences on your discipline is the people you interact with regularly. Social influence is a strong force, and when used positively, it can help you stay focused and committed. Surrounding yourself with discipline-driven individuals creates an environment of accountability. When you are part of a group that values hard work and persistence, you are less likely to slack off because you don't want to fall behind. Peer motivation plays a huge role in keeping people on track. If your friends and colleagues are committed to personal growth and self-discipline, their energy and mindset will naturally influence you to stay disciplined as well. Just as positive social influence can uplift you, negative influences can be just as powerful in the opposite direction. If you are surrounded by people who constantly complain, avoid responsibility, or discourage efforts towards self-improvement, their mindset can easily rub off on you. It's important to be mindful of who you spend time with and what kind of energy they bring into your life. This doesn't mean you have to cut people out completely, but you should set boundaries to protect your own discipline and focus. Seek out relationships that support your growth rather than hinder it. Choose to engage with individuals who challenge you to be better, who push you toward your goals, and who respect the path you are trying to follow. Building a life of discipline is much easier when you surround yourself with people who embody the same values. Your environment, mentors, social circle, and the influences you allow into your life all contribute to your ability to stay committed and motivated. By making intentional choices about who you spend your time with, you set yourself up for success. Discipline is contagious, and when you are in the company of those who live by it, you naturally adopt the same mindset and habits. Surround yourself with those who inspire, uplift, and challenge you, and you will find it much easier to stay on the path of self-discipline and personal growth. Chapter 14. Handling stress without losing focus. Stress is an unavoidable part of life, and no matter how disciplined or motivated a person may be, there will always be moments of pressure, uncertainty, and exhaustion. The key to maintaining discipline and motivation lies not in eliminating stress altogether, but in learning how to manage it effectively without losing focus. When handled well, stress can become a source of strength, pushing individuals toward greater efficiency and resilience. Understanding the impact of stress on discipline and motivation is the first step toward managing it. Stress can either push someone forward or hold them back, depending on how it is handled. When stress becomes overwhelming, it often leads to procrastination, poor decision-making, and a lack of motivation. The mind feels cluttered, making it difficult to focus on goals and stay consistent. Discipline requires clarity and structure, but stress disrupts this balance, making even simple tasks feel insurmountable. When stress is prolonged, it can lead to burnout, which further diminishes the ability to stay committed to personal and professional responsibilities. However, stress does not have to be the enemy of discipline. It can be transformed into an opportunity for growth and mental strength. By learning to recognize early signs of stress, such as irritability, fatigue, or difficulty concentrating, individuals can take proactive steps to regain control before it escalates. The ability to manage stress effectively ensures that motivation remains intact and that discipline continues to guide daily actions. One of the most powerful tools for handling stress is meditation and deep breathing. These practices have been used for centuries to calm the mind and create inner balance. Meditation is not just about sitting in silence. It is about training the mind to remain present and focused despite external pressures. By incorporating even a few minutes of meditation into daily routines, individuals can develop a habit of mindfulness that helps them stay centered, even in challenging situations. Deep breathing is another simple yet highly effective technique for stress management. When a person is stressed, their breathing becomes shallow, which signals the brain to remain in a state of alertness. This response further increases anxiety and tension. By practicing slow, intentional breathing, it becomes possible to send signals to the brain that everything is under control. This practice not only reduces stress in the moment, but also strengthens emotional resilience over time. The more a person learns to regulate their breathing, the more control they gain over their reactions to stressful situations. Developing healthy coping mechanisms is essential for maintaining discipline during stressful times. Many people turn to unhealthy habits when under pressure, such as excessive screen time, junk food, or avoiding responsibilities. While these behaviors may offer temporary relief, they ultimately weaken discipline and create long-term problems. A healthier approach involves engaging in activities that replenish energy rather than drain it. Exercise, journaling, or simply spending time in nature can have a profound effect on stress levels. Physical movement releases endorphins, which naturally elevate mood and increase motivation. Writing down thoughts and emotions can provide clarity, making it easier to process challenges without feeling overwhelmed. Nature, with its calming influence, helps restore a sense of perspective, reminding individuals that stress is only temporary. Another important aspect of handling stress is maintaining a structured routine. When stress levels rise, there is a tendency to abandon schedules and let emotions take control. However, having a structured daily routine serves as an anchor, preventing stress from completely derailing progress. Establishing fixed wake-up times, meal schedules, and work hours helps create a sense of stability. The discipline of sticking to a schedule, even when under pressure, ensures that stress does not turn into chaos. Consistency in small habits leads to greater control over larger challenges. Turning stress into fuel for productivity is one of the most effective ways to maintain motivation and discipline. Rather than viewing stress as an obstacle, it can be seen as a source of energy that drives action. When faced with pressure, the body releases adrenaline, which increases alertness and focus. By harnessing this natural response and channeling it into productive efforts, stress can become a powerful tool for achieving goals. Instead of allowing stress to cause panic, individuals can use it as a signal to take decisive action. Prioritizing tasks, breaking down overwhelming projects into manageable steps, and maintaining a solution-oriented mindset helps transform stress into forward momentum. A shift in perspective also plays a crucial role in managing stress without losing focus. Instead of fearing challenges, embracing them as opportunity for growth changes the entire approach to stress. Every successful person has encountered stress and setbacks, but their ability to see difficulties as stepping stones rather than roadblocks has allowed them to stay disciplined and motivated. Developing a mindset that stress is not a signal to stop, but rather an invitation to grow helps build long-term resilience. Handling stress without losing focus is not about avoiding difficulties, but about mastering the ability to navigate them with confidence. By understanding the effects of stress on discipline and motivation, practicing meditation and deep breathing, developing healthy coping mechanisms, maintaining a structured routine, and turning stress into a source of productivity, it becomes possible to stay committed to goals regardless of external pressures. Discipline is not about having a stress-free life. It is about having the strength to keep moving forward, even in the midst of challenges. The ability to manage stress effectively is what separates those who lose focus from those who rise above difficulties and achieve greatness. Chapter 15. How to push through when you feel like giving up. There comes a time in every journey when the weight of effort feels too heavy to carry, and the temptation to give up becomes overwhelming. No matter how disciplined or determined you are, moments of doubt and exhaustion are inevitable. But what separates those who succeed from those who fall short is the ability to push through, even when every part of them wants to quit. Learning to keep going despite setbacks is a skill that strengthens your discipline and builds resilience. One of the main reasons people give up is burnout. Burnout doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, often going unnoticed until exhaustion, frustration, and apathy take over. Recognizing the warning signs early can prevent a complete breakdown. If you find yourself constantly fatigued, lacking motivation, or feeling emotionally drained, it might be time to reassess your approach. Pushing through does not mean ignoring the signals your body and mind are giving you. Instead, it's about adjusting your strategies, setting realistic expectations, and allow yourself moments of rest so that you can continue the journey without burning out completely. During tough moments, it's easy to feel like you're alone in your struggle. But strength is often found in the realization that you are capable of overcoming more than you think. When everything seems to be working against you, remind yourself why you started in the first place. Reconnect with your purpose and revisit the goals that initially inspired you. Often, the frustration you feel is temporary, but giving up is permanent. Resilience isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about acknowledging the difficulties and still choosing to move forward. When self-motivation isn't enough, lean on a support system. Talking to a mentor, friend, or someone who understands your struggle can provide the encouragement you need to regain your momentum. Sometimes, a fresh perspective is all it takes to remind you of your strength. One of the most effective ways to push through tough times is to shift your focus to small wins. When the big goal feels too distant, breaking it down into smaller milestones makes the journey more manageable. Each small victory builds confidence and reinforces the belief that you are making progress. Success is rarely about massive leaps. It's about consistent steps. When you feel stuck, find something small you can achieve today. Whether it's completing a single task, improving a tiny habit, or simply showing up despite the difficulty. These small wins accumulate over time, creating momentum that keeps you moving forward even when motivation is low. While celebrating progress is important, it's equally essential to remain hungry for growth. Achieving a milestone doesn't mean the journey is over. It's easy to become complacent once you reach a certain level of success, but true discipline means continuously striving to improve. Acknowledge and appreciate how far you've come, but don't let comfort slow your ambition. Every achievement should serve as a stepping stone to the next goal. The key is to balance appreciation with ambition. Celebrate your hard work, but always keep looking ahead. Pushing through when you feel like giving up is not about ignoring struggles or forcing yourself to keep going at any cost. It's about recognizing the difference between real exhaustion and temporary frustration, finding strength in your purpose, embracing small wins, and maintaining a mindset of continuous growth. Discipline is built in these moments, the ones where quitting feels like the easiest option, but you choose to persist anyway. Every challenge you overcome adds another layer to your resilience, making you stronger for the road ahead. In the end, success belongs to those who refuse to surrender, no matter how difficult the journey becomes. Chapter 16. Creating a long-term discipline plan. Discipline is not a temporary fix or a short-term project. It is a lifelong commitment to personal growth and self-improvement. Many people start strong on their journey toward discipline, but the real challenge is sustaining it for years. Developing discipline is like building a muscle. It requires consistent effort, adjustments, and perseverance. It is not something that can be perfected overnight, but with the right mindset and approach, anyone can cultivate a lasting habit of discipline that stands the test of time. Sustaining discipline over the years requires a deep understanding of personal motivations. It is easy to stay committed when enthusiasm is high, but motivation naturally fluctuates. This is why discipline must be rooted in something deeper than just the initial excitement of a new goal. A strong sense of purpose acts as an anchor, keeping individuals grounded even when motivation wavers. Those who sustain discipline for years understand that success is not about willpower alone. It is about having a clear vision of why their goals matter and staying connected to that vision, no matter the obstacles that arise. Another essential aspect of maintaining long-term discipline is developing strong habits. Discipline is not about making constant decisions. It is about creating routines that make those decisions automatic. When certain behaviors become second nature, they no longer require immense effort to sustain. This is why successful individuals rely on well-established habits rather than sheer determination. Waking up early, exercising regularly, managing time efficiently, and maintaining focus on priorities become easier when they're ingrained in daily life. Small actions, repeated consistently, lead to significant long-term results. Periodic self-reflection is a crucial tool for sustaining discipline over time. Without reflection, it is easy to fall into patterns of complacency or lose sight of long-term objectives. Taking time to assess progress, identify challenges, and evaluate strategies helps maintain clarity and purpose. Regular self-reflection allows individuals to recognize what is working and what needs to be improved. It provides opportunity to celebrate small wins, learn from setbacks, and refine approaches to discipline. Those who engage in consistent self-assessment are better equipped to stay on track and make meaningful progress toward their goals. Adjusting strategies over time is necessary for long-term success. Life is not static, and neither should be the methods used to maintain discipline. What works in one phase of life may not be effective in another. As circumstances change, strategies must evolve accordingly. Flexibility is a strength, not a weakness. Being open to new techniques, adopting different approaches, and continuously improving systems for self-discipline ensures that efforts remain relevant and effective. The ability to adapt while staying committed to core principles is what differentiates those who sustain discipline from those who struggle with consistency. One of the most important realizations about discipline is that it is a lifelong journey. There is no final destination where one becomes perfectly disciplined and never struggles again. Even the most successful and self-disciplined individuals face challenges, temptations, and moments of doubt. The key is to embrace discipline as a continuous process rather than a fixed achievement. Viewing self-discipline as an ongoing journey removes the pressure of perfection and allows for growth through experience. The journey of self-mastery is deeply personal and unique to each individual. No two paths are the same, and there is no universal formula for success. What matters most is consistency, resilience, and a willingness to learn from every experience. The commitment to self-discipline does not mean sacrificing joy or spontaneity. It means creating a life where actions align with values and long-term aspirations. Discipline is not about restriction, but about freedom. The freedom to shape one's future, to achieve personal goals, and to live with purpose. A long-term discipline plan is not about following rigid rules, but about understanding oneself, building strong habits, reflecting on progress, adjusting strategies, and embracing discipline as a lifelong journey. It is a process of growth, self-discovery, and continuous improvement. Those who commit to this path find that discipline is not just a tool for success, but a way of life that brings fulfillment, purpose, and lasting achievement. Chapter 17. How to Reignite Discipline After Slipping Up. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. No matter how committed you are to self-improvement, there will be times when you slip up. Maybe you skip a few workouts, procrastinate on an important project, or fall back into an old habit you thought you had left behind. When this happens, it's easy to feel discouraged, even defeated. But setbacks are not the end of the journey. They are just part of it. The real test of discipline is not about never falling. It's about how quickly you get back up. Understanding why setbacks happen can help you navigate them with resilience. Life is unpredictable, and even the most disciplined individuals face challenges that throw them off track. Sometimes, setbacks happen due to external circumstances, unexpected stress, illness, or changes in routine. Other times, they stem from internal struggles like self-doubt, fatigue, or lack of motivation. Regardless of the reason, the key is to recognize that setbacks are normal. They don't define your ability to be disciplined. They simply highlight areas where you need to adjust your approach. Instead of seeing them as failures, view them as opportunities to learn and grow. One of the biggest obstacles to regaining discipline is the all-or-nothing mindset. This mindset makes people believe that if they can't do something perfectly, they shouldn't do it at all. It's the voice that says, I already messed up my diet today, so I might as well eat whatever I want for the rest of the week. Or, I skipped my morning workout, so I'll just start again next month. This way of thinking is dangerous because it turns a small slip into a complete derailment. True discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Missing one workout doesn't mean you're undisciplined. Giving up entirely does. The goal is to keep moving forward, even if it's at a slower pace than before. Getting back on track quickly requires action, not self-criticism. The longer you dwell on a setback, the harder it becomes to restart. Instead of beating yourself up over what went wrong, focus on what you can do next. Start small. If you've been procrastinating on a project, commit to working on it for just 10 minutes today. If you stopped exercising, do a quick stretch or take a short walk. Small actions rebuild momentum and remind you that you are still in control. The sooner you take action, the less power the setback will have over you. Self-discipline is not about never failing. It's about learning from each failure without judgment. Every slip-up carries a lesson if you are willing to look for it. Maybe you realize that your morning routine needs adjustment because you're constantly feeling rushed. Or perhaps you recognize that certain environments trigger bad habits, making it easier to fall off track. Instead of seeing mistakes as proof that you're not disciplined, see them as insights that will make you stronger. Growth comes from reflection, not regret. The more you learn from setbacks, the better equipped you'll be to handle them in the future. Reigniting discipline after slipping up is not about punishing yourself. It's about recommitting to your goals with a better understanding of what works for you. Setbacks are part of the process, but they don't have to define your progress. By embracing a flexible mindset, taking small actions, and learning from every misstep, you can bounce back stronger than before. Discipline is not a straight path. It's a journey of continuous improvement. What matters most is not how many times you stumble, but how many times you stand back up and keep going. Chapter 18. Living a Purpose-Driven and Disciplined Life. A life driven by purpose and anchored in discipline is one that leads to fulfillment, success, and true inner peace. Many people struggle with consistency in their efforts, often feeling stuck in cycles of motivation and procrastination. However, when discipline is deeply connected to a meaningful purpose, it transforms from a forced habit into a natural way of living. True discipline is not about restricting oneself or following a rigid set of rules. It is about making conscious choices that align with personal values and long-term aspirations. The benefits of self-discipline go far beyond achieving goals. It creates a sense of control and confidence that permeates every aspect of life. People who cultivate discipline find themselves more productive, more focused, and less easily swayed by distractions or negative emotions. It becomes easier to make healthy choices, stay committed to personal growth, and maintain a sense of clarity even in challenging times. Discipline fosters resilience, allowing individuals to recover quickly from setbacks without losing sight of their vision. Instead of being controlled by fleeting emotions or external circumstances, a disciplined person operates with a steady and intentional mindset. Living with discipline becomes even more powerful when it is aligned with core values. Every person has a unique set of values that define what truly matters to them. Some prioritize family, while others emphasize personal growth, career success, creativity, or service to others. When actions are aligned with these core values, discipline no longer feels like an obligation. It becomes a source of joy and fulfillment. Making decisions based on what truly resonates with one's heart eliminates the internal struggle between desire and responsibility. Instead of feeling forced to wake up early to work on a goal, there is an intrinsic motivation because the goal is deeply connected to something meaningful. The impact of discipline extends far beyond personal achievement. It creates a ripple effect that influences relationships, career growth, mental well-being, and overall life satisfaction. When someone leads a disciplined life, their presence inspires others to do the same. Family members, friends, and colleagues begin to notice the consistency, focus, and determination. This influence spreads, creating a culture of commitment and perseverance. Discipline also enhances decision-making skills, allowing individuals to avoid impulsive choices that lead to regret. Whether in personal finance, health, or relationships, having a disciplined mindset helps in maintaining long-term stability and happiness. Making discipline a natural part of life requires a shift in mindset. It is not about forcing oneself to be disciplined for short-term rewards, but rather embracing it as an essential part of identity. A disciplined person does not wake up every day debating whether or not to follow their routine. They simply do it because it is who they are. This transformation happens when discipline is practiced consistently over time. Small daily choices reinforce the identity of a disciplined individual. When discipline becomes second nature, life flows with greater ease, and success follows naturally. A purpose-driven and disciplined life is not about perfection. There will still be moments of struggle, lapses in motivation, and unexpected challenges. However, when a person is committed to their purpose and has ingrained discipline into their daily existence, they find the strength to keep going. They do not wait for motivation to strike. They take action because they understand that discipline is the foundation of every great achievement. Living this way leads to a profound sense of fulfillment, as every day is spent working towards something meaningful and creating a life that aligns with personal values and aspirations. Conclusion: becoming the master of your own life. The journey to self-discipline is not about perfection, but about persistence. Throughout this book, we have explored the principles, habits, and strategies that can help you cultivate discipline and sustain it over time. By now, you have gained an understanding of why discipline matters, how to develop it, and how to maintain it even when faced with challenges. The key takeaway is that discipline is not a trait reserved for a select few. It is a skill that anyone can develop with consistent effort and the right mindset. One of the most powerful realizations on this journey is that discipline is built in daily choices, not in grand gestures. Each day presents opportunities to either strengthen your discipline or weaken it. Every time you choose to follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you reinforce a habit of discipline. Whether waking up on time, completing a task without procrastination, or resisting a distraction, these moments shape your character. The power of daily commitment cannot be overstated. It is the foundation upon which lasting self-discipline is built. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Growth does not end once you achieve a certain level of discipline. In fact, personal development is a lifelong journey. The key to continuous growth is to keep challenging yourself, set new goals, push past limitations, and remain open to learning. When you make discipline a way of life, you unlock new levels of potential you never thought possible. However, discipline is not about rigid rules or punishing yourself for mistakes. It is about learning to balance structure with flexibility, allowing yourself to adapt while still maintaining forward momentum. One of the most important lessons in self-discipline is self-compassion. There will be times when you fall short, when motivation fades, or when you feel like giving up. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the ability to get back on track. Instead of being hard on yourself, acknowledge the setback, learn from it, and move forward. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being resilient. Every challenge you overcome makes you stronger, and every effort you put in brings you closer to the life you desire. As you continue your journey, remember that discipline is a tool that empowers you to take control of your life. It allows you to shape your future instead of being controlled by circumstances. The more you practice discipline, the more you realize that you have the power to create the life you want. There is no secret formula, no overnight transformation. Only daily choices that lead to long-term success. If you commit to this path, you will become unstoppable. You have everything you need within you. Now, it's time to step forward with confidence and take charge of your life.